before you incarnated on Earth, you chose specific soul types that shape your personality, help you fulfill your life missions, and help you heal fears carried over from past lives. Today, I'm going to help you discover which soul types you carry and why you feel drawn to certain idols. Welcome to Mystical and Practical, the podcast that demystifies the soul's journey, the spirit world, and spiritual practices. I'm Meli Guidance, a past life psychic, certified Akashic Records reader, and channeling coach. Here, we talk about spirit guides, the Akashic Records, reincarnation, and everything that connects the seen to the unseen, all with both feet firmly on the ground. Ready to decode the spirit world and connect with your inner magic? Let's jump right in. Hi there! Today we continue our exploration of the soul journey. So if you have been with me since episode 2, we covered the birth of your soul family, your spirit guides, and as well as your soul ages. And today is all about the life plan that you are making before incarnating. So first, your soul is born on the astral plane, and it is born with your soul family, and you meet your spirit guides. And then when you are ready to incarnate for the first time, you make your very first life plan, or if you wish, soul plan. And in this soul plan, you will find your soul types, your life missions, your talents, the lessons you're here to learn or to integrate, the karma you want to balance, and a lot of other stuff, but that is what you mainly find in your soul plan. And you do that before every incarnation. It's really closely crafted with your main spirit guides, and it's also in your soul plan that you decide which soulmates you will encounter during that incarnation. But you see, it's a lot of things. Today we're going to concentrate just on one aspect, which are your soul types. We all have many different soul types, and these soul types shape our personality for each of our incarnations. And so today is part 1 of soul types, and I will introduce them all. So don't worry if you don't know them, you're good. I will explain all of this in detail. I will actually be playing a video that I recorded 2 years ago when I was doing the Tea with Intuitives podcast. And I recorded this video about the different soul types during the holidays and how they act and react during this period. And talking about the holidays, before we go further, I have a few offers during the holidays that I want to talk to you about. I have 4 spots left for the Tarot Focus 2026 readings. If you do not know what they are, these are my very popular end of year, or if you rather beginning of year tarot readings, when we look together at what is coming up energetically for you for the new year. So what I do is that I pull cards and I ask your higher self for the message that they have for you. And then I channel with the spirit guides what's the best action for you in 2026. What is your obstacle, your talent, your strength? What is the lesson to be learned? And what is the theme of 2026 for you? And then we also dive into what's coming up in regards of career, personal development, and relationships. So if that interests you, December is already full, but I still have 4 spots in January. And if you already know that you want to book a reading with me in 2026, or you already know that you want to buy a gift card for someone who wants to purchase a reading, I am coming back this year with my promo, buy 1 gift card and get 1 free energy healing. So when you buy a gift card of minimum $50, you get a free energy healing that you can take for yourself or you can gift it to someone else. And it's the same for the gift card. If you want, you can purchase it for yourself and then get one free energy healing. And that gives you access to either a fire healing with the phoenix, a water healing with the dragon, a gnome healing with the earth, or a sylph healing with the element of air. So you get to choose between the four. Another thing that I have for you to welcome the new year is a guided channeling session called Meet Your Oracle. And I guide you through clearing your chakras, activating them, and getting ready to meet your oracle, which is a way of saying you're going to meet a spirit guide who will give you messages for 2026, for the 12 months ahead. And by the way, that is my most affordable offering, and that's your Meet Your Oracle guided channeling. Another thing that I have that is all new is a 6-month tarot subscription. So if you want to get tarot readings from me throughout the next 6 months or even throughout the next year, because you can renew this subscription, you can purchase the 6-month tarot subscription, and this is at a reduced rate from my regular, when you take a single card reading, that's even lower than that. So there you go for the holiday offerings. Now, before I play my video about soul types during the holidays, I want you to do a little exercise with me. I want you to take a few seconds and think or jot down a short list of your idols. Okay? So these could be artists, leaders, activists, or spiritual figures. So you can think about them, but if you can write them down, it might be easier after the video. When we come back to the exercise, you won't be forgetting any of them. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about your idols and jot them down. Okay. And by the way, don't let your ego come into this exercise and tell you that your idols have to be great people that are known worldwide. They can be if they are truly your idols, but an idol might simply be your first grade teacher that you admire a lot. So it can be someone that is not super known. Okay, now keep your list closed because I'll come back to it after the video and we'll close the exercise together, and that will help you figure out who your soul types are. So without further ado, let's play the video Soul Types During the Holidays. Soul types and how they act and react during the holidays. So in case you don't know what a soul type is, in case you never worked with me, so I work with Ainslie MacLeod's Spirit Guides structure. So this is a structure I was working with before becoming a psychic. I was very familiar with it. And then when I became a psychic, I asked my spirit guides if they were okay with me using the same structure because it was so familiar to me. And they agreed, and they do, but it's funny because sometimes they use different words, but all in all, it comes back to all the same thing. And also, by the way, I did get readings from Ainslie MacLeod. I got 4 readings from him. If you don't know him, he's pretty well known right now because he's been on Oprah and Ellen. He's written books, so he's a past life psychic. That's his specialty. And after I read his book, that's really what prompted me to go and contact my spirit guides. Never thought I would myself become a past life psychic. It was not the goal. I just wanted that connection. But yeah, that's what happened. So there are 10 soul types, and depending on your soul type, you're going to view the world through a different lens, and you're going to have it's pretty much your soul type is pretty much your personality, but you don't just have one. You have a main soul type, and then you have other soul types that might be quote unquote less dominant, but there's always a soul type that comes help on the front burner depending on what we're going through. For example, when I was a student in college and university, the thinker soul type was very much on the front burner with me. I really needed that thirst for intellect and knowledge. And so my main soul type is the spiritualist soul type, which is always there looking for deep meaning. So that's always there with me. But so depending on what you're going through, different soul types come on the front burner. So all in all, there are 10 soul types, and you can have easily 6, 7, or 8 soul types, and you kind of have that in the mix, making your personality. I'm going to list the soul types for you, and then we're going to go one by one, and I'll tell you what kind of person you can be during the holidays with these soul types. So you have the spiritualist soul type, the creator soul type, you have the performer soul type, the thinker, the caregiver. That one, my spirit guides often call it the healer soul type. You have the helper, the educator, the hunter soul type, and the transformer soul type. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the spiritualist soul type, because I would say 95 to 98% of old souls and of my clients have the spiritualist soul type as their main soul type. And when you have this soul type, you really want to work hard on personal development. Spirituality is at the forefront. You want things to have deep meaning in your life. And oftentimes you can get very frustrated when things don't have any meaning and it's not going anywhere. And spiritualist soul type have this connection with the spirit world. So if you have a spiritualist soul type, or if your spiritualist soul type is at the forefront during the holidays, you'll really want the holidays to have meaning. So you could be the person around the dinner table at Christmas with friends or family who's going to ask, okay, so I'd like everyone to say 1 or 2 things that they are grateful for. Or you might like to reflect on the growth that you have, and you might want to share what you would like for you and for the world for 2024. So oftentimes spiritualists have a heart chakra that has a tendency to be very much open. Not always, because we've gone through a lot of trauma when we're old souls, but that happens a lot. So yeah, and also you might like to have your own little tradition. So even though you might have been born in a religion, you might still like the religion tradition that you've grown up with, even though you might not be religious anymore. So you might still keep that, but you might like to create your own, because as I said, everything needs to have a meaning. So you might want to have your own little tradition that resonates for you and for your situation and for your family. Okay, so moving on, I want to tackle the creator soul type. Creator soul types, I mean, they are creative. You can be someone who's very much into painting. It can be music, arts and craft. It can be through food. So if you're a big creator soul type and you like cooking, you are thriving during the holidays, because you like to make, those kind of, I think it's taking broccoli and making a broccoli Christmas tree on a plate. So you're using broccolis and you're using cherry tomatoes half cut to do the little Christmas ornaments in the tree. So you might be very much into that. So either you really like to cook and to bake, or not really, but you're more like arts and craft and you're having fun. It's very creative. You might be the person who likes to decorate, who likes to have a theme for everyone. You might very well be a hypersensitive person when you have the creator soul type, because creator soul types, they have this connection to the invisible world, and to have that connection you need to be very sensitive to the unseen. The unseen is also everything that is nonverbal. And so in gatherings, you might be very sensitive to other people's energy. You might be able to spot very easily someone who isn't feeling good, who doesn't have their needs met. And so creator soul types need to be very, very careful with their energies, very careful not to absorb other people's energies. So at the end of an evening with the whole family, you might want to do, imagine a cord that is linking you to all these people and just saying, okay, I am cutting all these cords and I am letting all their energies leave with them. I like just to close my eyes, imagine, and go like this. Now, a lot of you are not listening on YouTube, so if you're listening, it's like I just take my two hands and imagine I'm cutting two cords and then moving everything away as if you're moving dust, moving all the energies that don't belong to you. So, protecting yourself energetically is very important when you are a creator soul type. And if you have a talent for empathy, for sure you are a hypersensitive person, which is great, but family gatherings can be a little tricky. Okay, so moving on, which one do I want to do next? I'll do the performer soul type. Performer soul type, you might be the life of the party. Performer soul types need an audience. And so, you might very well be the one that is making jokes. You might be the one who's going, hey, let's play a game. Let's play a mime game or a guessing game, just to have fun. If you have the creator performer soul type, you might have created a music playlist for the evening, and at some point you just get up and you want to dance because you're just tired of sitting around the table and not doing much. If you have the performer and hunter soul type, you definitely are someone who will want to do that. So hunter soul type, let me explain if you don't know what it is. It doesn't mean that you went out and hunt a turkey before making dinner. Although, I guess maybe some hunter soul types want to do that. So the hunter soul type, you need to keep in mind that these soul types were created when the humans first got consciousness. And in those days, we were in small tribes. And yes, we had the hunters in the tribe, and they had to go out and hunt the animals to get the protein to feed ourselves. Nowadays, the hunter soul types are people who are very energetic, goal-oriented, and a lot of them like sports. They like to move, they need to move their energies. Some of them like outdoorsy stuff or camping, but not all the hunter soul types, because I have the hunter in my soul types and not into, too high energy sports or camping. But yeah, definitely, if you have the performer and the hunter, with your hunter soul type, you're like, okay, I cannot sit at that table for 2 hours straight. I need to move. You might be the one who suggests after a meal, hey, before dessert, why don't we go all and take a walk outside and see the beautiful Christmas light and decorations in the neighborhood? So that can very much be you if you have the hunter soul type. Okay. Now, the helper soul type. There is an example that I often give my clients when I do life plan readings and I see that they have the helper soul type. It's that if you are at a dinner table, a family gathering, and you see that people are starting to finish their meal, you don't wait to be asked anything. You just get up and ask people, are you done? And you take the plates and you start washing the dishes. And you're not even the host, but it's a reflex for you. Helper soul types have the reflex to help, other people. So that's just in you. You want to give your help. If you are a caregiver soul type, and you might also have the helper caregiver soul type there. Caregivers are very, very nurturing. They have a lot of empathy, and you might very well spend your Christmas Eve or Christmas evening in helping a shelter, helping maybe homeless people, or giving out meals, or giving out Christmas baskets to people who have less money. So it's kind of a way for you to give back, to making sure that everyone feels good and feels heard and feels comfortable during this night, and you feel like your contribution lies there. So a lot of caregivers will bring their help. Either it can be on Christmas night, or just before giving out Christmas baskets, or after, but very much involved in the community. Now, the educator soul type, my spirit guides also call it the teacher soul types. Around a table during a gathering, you might have done some research on Christmas traditions, or maybe something is going on in the world and you made some research on, if there is a war going on, and unfortunately there are wars going on this year. And so you might have done some research on historically why this is happening. And if you have the spiritualist soul type, you are very much heart-centered. So you might want to give a speech and explain why it's happening, and explain why we need as people to learn from our mistakes, as nation, as countries, and how we need to be better. So the performer needs an audience, the teacher needs to impart knowledge, needs people to impart knowledge to. And when there is a gathering, it's like, oh my God, I can do this. So anything you learned recently, you might want to share, or you might just have watched a documentary and you want to talk about it because it was really, really good, and you want to impart that knowledge to people that that they don't have the educator soul type, and they would benefit just to have that knowledge. And not everyone likes to learn through books and documentaries. And luckily we have teacher soul types, and they will just pass on the knowledge like that. So there's the educator soul type. There's also the thinker soul type. Oftentimes we have educator, thinker soul type going, hand in hand together. So thinker soul type is all about getting knowledge, feeling like you are so much more and so much a better person with all the knowledge that you have. And if you don't have the educator soul type, you might not feel drawn on sharing it. But yeah, during the holidays, you might just share a book that you read, or you might give books to other people that you feel that they would like as well, and that they need to have their knowledge. So if you don't have the educator, it's more like having that within you, and not imposing it, not communicating it to others, but you have that passion. So you might want to pass it on to others through gift. What soul type did I not talk about? Performer, hunter. Oh, the leader soul type. Leader soul types, very often they're going to be the ones who talk about Christmas first. So it might be November, and in November they're like, okay, who's going to have all the family over? Or very often they're like, okay, I'm having everyone over, because they're the leader and they have to have their little tribe. So they will organize everything, how it's going to go, at what time. And during the family gathering, they might go, okay, so now we're at the part where we're going to start with fun games, and then we're going to drink some punch, and then the kids are going to open 2 gifts first, and then we're going to have supper, and then the rest of the gifts to the children. And if there's a Santa Claus, okay, they're going to deal with at what time is Santa Claus coming? Will Santa Claus come from the street, and then the children will watch through the window, and then he's going to enter from that door because it's wider? They're going to lead the way a lot. So lots of energy with the leaders. If you have a mix of leader hunter, energy is through the roof. And now we have the Transformer soul type. This is a very, very rare soul type to have. It's when you really want to bring a tangible transformation to the whole world. So we have different life missions. And when I'm channeling, I'm getting that some people have life missions that are more on an one-on-one level with other people. And sometimes we have that with coaches who work one-on-one. And sometimes it's more on a very small community level. And then it might be more on a national level. And then we have international, worldwide. And when it's worldwide, it can happen with transformers. But once again, they are very, very, very rare. For example, Nelson Mandela is a transformer soul type. Oftentimes, these people put their life at risk for what they believe in because they want to bring change. So they need to rock the boat and be against the political leaders of their times. Nowadays, we have a lot of quasi-transformers, so kind of half transformers, because a lot of souls are, when they are planning their lives. So when they are making their life plans for their next incarnations, they're thinking, okay, I really want to bring some change, and it's dearly needed because we currently have an imbalance. We have too many young souls versus old souls. And that's contributing to, the planet's not doing well, a lot of wars. So it's been going on for over a century. So there's an imbalance that the spirit guides are working on. But because of that imbalance, spirits that are finishing their level 10, they know it will probably be their last incarnation, that they want to go out with a bang. They're thinking, maybe I don't want to put my life at risks, because if I get to live longer and to advocate longer, then I can make a more important change. So nowadays, as a quasi-transformer, the one that comes to my mind is Greta Thunberg. She's a quasi-transformer. So, just giving you the name, you get it. It's advocating for what's right, for the needed change, for what's best for everyone in the world. So you're not thinking in an individualistic way. It's very altruistic. It's not me, me, me. It's we as not a nation, as people of the world, of the planet. This is what we need. So if you have the quasi-transformer in your soul types, you might very well be talking about social causes around the table at supper, and you might also very well be engaged in manifestations over the holidays, or any kind of community social work that you can do to help, especially the quasi-transformers that are really, really busy with work and now they get time off during the holidays. They are so focused on changing the world because most of them are probably living their last incarnations, right? We never know until we die and we go back to the astral plane and we do our life reviews, but it's like oftentimes it's like 90% sure that it's going to go well and it's your last incarnation. So since it's their last incarnation, they really want to bring change as much as they can. So even though it's the holidays, and they might not be working at their jobs, but they're still very much active in all kinds of community social activities, to bring more awareness to different causes. So there you go. Welcome back. I hope that this video helped you figure out what your soul types may be. Usually after listening to this, you should be able to narrow it down to at least, not to narrow it down, but to know at least one or two soul types that you have for sure. But I'm going to help you see which soul types you have by looking at your idols, because your idols show you what your soul types are. People that you admire are like your expanders of who you want to be and how you want to activate your soul types. So I jotted down a few examples on a few sheets of paper here. And I want to start with you with the example of idols that are spiritual figures. So maybe amongst your idols, you have Eckhart Tolle, Ram Dass, Oprah, or Deepak Chopra. And this shows that, oh yes, and maybe it's not people that are well known, right? So it might be people that you admire that just in general seek truth, meaning, and consciousness. So if you have those people amongst your idols, then chances are strong that you carry the spiritualist soul type, of course. So you want to go deep, you're oriented towards inner transformation, you're looking for meaning, of course you like spirituality, depth, and light. So this is a sign that you are a spiritualist soul type. Now, if you mostly admire artists and creators, to give you some examples, people like Frida Kahlo, Miyazaki, Tim Burton, Lady Gaga, or if you're francophone, Stromae or Denis Villeneuve, then you hold the energy of the creator soul type. So you're very creative, and you can feel the unseen as well. Anything that is abstract might be super obvious to you. Everything that is artistic creation, you express yourself through art, and sometimes you might struggle to put things into words because it's just like your head is in the cloud, don't need words, it's just everything is felt. So that might be a sign that you are a creator soul type. Moving on, if your idols are entertainers like Jim Carrey, in France, Gad Elmaleh, maybe Adele or Robin Williams, then you carry the energy of the performer soul type. So you like to be funny, you like things to be light, you like to have some attention on yourself, and you believe that through the way that you perform, you have the power to make people feel lighter, feel happy, feel more in connection with their emotions and with who they are. So you naturally bring joy, laughter, lightness, and connection. Now, this was the performer soul type. I have another example for you. If you admire athletes, adventurers, people who are very action-driven, you know, the go, go, go people, people like Serena Williams, for example, The Rock, Simone Biles, or Bear Grylls, then you may have the hunter soul type. And it's all about movement, courage, and instinct. And I like to compare this soul type to the Gryffindor house in Harry Potter. Now, it doesn't mean that all Gryffindors have only have the hunter. They have many soul types, but they are very courageous. They don't fear going on an adventure and getting things done, and they're not waiting to get the okay from someone. Like, they just go. So, and also, if you are a hunter soul type, it might be very difficult for you to just stay put, stay sitting down, or just doing one thing at a time, being very focused because you want to do it all. Another example, let's look at if your idols are natural leaders, like Michelle and Barack Obama, for example. What a power couple of leaders. If you admire people who gather others, organize, take the lead, obviously this is a sign that you have the leader soul type within you. Now, if you admire educators, people who explain and analyze a lot, people maybe like Brené Brown. In Quebec, we have Charles Serre, maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Bill Nye, the science guy. Then you have the teacher/educator soul type. I say teacher/educator. Educator is the official name channeled by Ainslie MacLeod, but when I channel my spirit guide, they often call it the teacher soul type, which doesn't mean that you necessarily are bound to be a teacher. There are many, many ways to teach, but it means that you are there to transmit knowledge. You are there to make things accessible and to awaken yourself through understanding and help others to awaken through understanding. Okay, let's move on. If you admire great thinkers like Einstein or Marie Curie, people who analyze a lot, writers, philosopher, I'm sure you guessed it because I already said the name of the soul type, then you carry the energy of the thinker. Obviously, if you admire thinkers, you have the thinker soul type. So you want to understand the world, to dissect things, to uncover the hidden patterns behind things. You're going to study a lot. You want to gather books from different sources, from different countries, to know a subject in detail from A to Z. That is the thinker soul type. If you admire, thinkers, we did it. Moving on, if you admire devoted and humble people like Mr. Rogers, Keanu Reeves, or Mother Teresa, you very likely have the helper soul type. So now you might go, wait a minute, Meli, Keanu Reeves obviously has the hunter soul type. Yes, he does. We actually have many soul types, not just one. But he's a good example of someone who is very, very humble and helping others. You know, when he works on a movie, I don't know if it's everyone, but I think it's every one of their stunt doubles, they get a luxury watch or something like that. I haven't cross-checked this fact, but I've heard it many, many times through YouTube videos. So he's known to be very generous and to help others who don't have the same means or same, abundance that he has. And so when you are very pulled to help other peoples, you have the helper soul type, meaning that you are going to help naturally without being asked to. And you like to support and accompany people as well. That is the helper soul type. Now, if in your idols you had healers, humanitarians, people who bring peace, for example, figures like Thich Nhat Hanh, Louise Hay, or the Dalai Lama, then you carry the soul type of the healer, of course. And you feel deeply, you're soothed, you are very empathetic, and you're here to mend hearts, to help people heal. That is the healer soul type. if you admire great world shifters like Nelson Mandela, Greta Thunberg, Martin Luther King, Josephine Baker, or Gandhi, those people that I just named, so Greta Thunberg, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Josephine Baker, Gandhi, you know all of them, right? You do, because they are transformers. They are world shifters, and this is a sign that you have the transformer soul type. But as I said in the video about soul types during the holiday, you probably have the quasi-transformer. And this is a soul type closely linked to change, justice, and collective impact. Now, I want to remind you that Ainslie MacLeod points out that most people have between 6 to 8 soul types total. Unless maybe you're incarnating and you're thinking, well, I think this might be my last incarnation. You never know for sure if it's going to be your last. Because let's say that you think it's going to be your last incarnation, but everything went bad, you were hardcore into drugs, you robbed a bank, and you killed someone. Well, you accumulated karma that you need to balance, and you're going to come back. Usually when you're pretty sure that this is your last incarnation, you have gathered a lot of wisdom and you're such an old soul that you probably will not rob a bank and you probably will not kill someone unless it's in self-defense, which the spirit guides completely understand. So if it's probably your last incarnation, you might want to target something very specific for your last life on Earth. And you might only take 2 to 3 soul types so that you are not distracted by other stuff, so that you don't want to do everything like, oh, I'm going to teach, but I'm also going to perform. And if you have too many soul types and you want to do too many things, then you won't be targeting exactly what you wish to do. So maybe you want to have a high impact and be more of an activist. And so this is how you have less soul types. But I think pretty much everyone who's listening to this video probably have the Spiritualist as their main soul types. And then as for the rest, it depends in every one of you. Lots of old souls also have the Spiritualist creator duo, and then it varies in every person. So what I want you to know right now is to go and write down in the comments who are your idols and what do you think your soul types are, and please share them in the comments because this is going to help other people who are trying to figure out what their soul types are. And as I said, this is only part 1 on soul types. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be back to dig deeper and show you that every soul type has a light side and a shadow side. And we're also going to take a look about, let me check. I'm going to talk about the challenges, about the primary and secondary soul types, and how our soul types evolve through soul ages. But more importantly, I think you are going to want to tune in because I'm going to give you a second tip on how to figure out which soul types you have. Okay, before we go, I want to leave you with a little nuance here that depending on your soul age, the way you express yourself, the way you express your soul types is going to be different. For example, if you are a young soul creator, you want to perform, you really, really want to be seen. But if you are a creator soul type who's an old soul, then you want to, yes, you're going to perform, you're going to create, but you really want to have meaning through your art. And that meaning, you want to pass it on to other people. You want to touch them with your art. So you want to communicate, connect with them through your art. So it's more like a two-way street when you're an old soul than a one-way street when you're a young soul and you're a creator or performer. It's like, oh, I want to be seen. I want my art to be seen. It's more like me. Another example, if we take the spiritualist soul type, a young soul, spiritualist soul type will seek structure. Right? So young souls, they like structure, they like to be told what to do. So a young soul will want to be in a religion, while an old soul, spiritualist soul type will not be into a religion. They want to figure out, they want to go inward and find the answers inward. So it's more gray area than black and white. A last example is a young soul that is a teacher soul type. They're going to share the facts and only facts, and they don't like the students to challenge them, which is completely the contrary if you have an old soul teacher soul type. They like to be challenged. They like the nuances. They don't only give facts. Now, they're going to give facts as well, but they will give life experiences, a lot of examples. They are going to ask their students to share their life journey about what they're teaching. Like they thrive on exchanging with the students and being challenged. So that is the sign of an old soul teacher type. So there you go. We've covered pretty much today. If you still don't know what your soul type is, what you can do is that you can book a life plan Akashic reading with me. And in the life plan reading, we go over your soul age, your soul types, your life missions, your talents, and we can even go over, if you take the longer session, we can take a look at your past life fears and your desires. So you can book with me, but as I said, right now I'm doing the tarot readings, and my Akashic readings are back in February. And people already started booking Akashic readings for February. So if you're sure you want to book a session with me, I would advise you to do it right now before it goes on to March. And of course, I have still 4 spots available for the the Focus Tarot reading for 2026. So I'm going to put all the links in the show notes. And that being said, I wish you to have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Mystical and Practical podcast with Meli Guidance. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and leave some stars, a thumbs up, or a comment. It truly helps to share the podcast with other old souls seeking a deeper understanding of the spirit world. If you're interested in getting an Akashic Records reading, a tarot reading, or joining one of my online courses, you will find all the details at meliguidance.com. This podcast was edited by plcm.ca, and the original music was composed by record.bandcamp.com. Until next time, remember, we are all souls having a human experience, and we can all be mystical and practical.